Sawubona, you creative visionary. Welcome to Itemba Temple. Igama lam Hutembi Telezi. I apologize for not starting o'clock today. I started at 9:30. I had to pull myself towards myself. I had to pull myself towards myself. It's a good day. It's a good day in paradise today. It's a very good day in paradise. It's a good day in paradise. It's a good day. It's a good day in paradise. Today, we're not going to have, no, let's just be quiet and just breathe. Let's just start by centering ourselves. We will still be done in an hour. I'm going to shorten it today. So please let's have some quiet time. Okay, so taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And make sure that as you sigh out, you just let your shoulders drop. And remind yourself that no matter what you have lived through today, what you are about to live through, depending on where you are in the world, you can handle it. You are built by the power, the intelligence, of the universe. Where you come from is the love of the universe that is infinite, forever renewing itself, revitalizing itself. This is the truth of your being. No matter what it looks like on the outside, no matter what your circumstances are, you come from love. You come from the power of the universe, the infinity of the universe. That is truly who and what you are. And nothing can change that. Nothing can change that. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Yes. Gently open your eyes. And we shall read. We shall read. How are you today? I hope all is well with you. I hope all is well with you. Okay, so day 79, spiritual life. The rage against sacred violation. I have not been angry without cause. Brother Francis trembles with fury as he witnesses the monasteries above using donated funds for personal luxuries while the poor who depend on their charity go hungry. His spiritual anger burns like cleansing fire, not from personal offense, but from witnessing the violation of sacred trust and the exploitation of genuine spiritual need. His rage serves the protection of authentic spiritual service and the vulnerable who seek sanctuary. His nervous system recognizes this anger as sacred response rather than ego reaction. The fury doesn't come from personal hurt, but from his soul recognition that spiritual authority carries sacred responsibility, and its violation demands a righteous response. His body channels this anger into protective energy rather than destructive force. Spiritual anger with cause arises when we witness the violation of sacred trust, exploitation of spiritual vulnerability, or abuse of spiritual authority. Our nervous system can distinguish between reactive anger, rooted in spiritual wounds, and righteous anger that serves protection of authentic spiritual life and the spiritually vulnerable. Embodiment practice. Place your hands in prayer position and think of a spiritual injustice that genuinely violates sacred trust or exploits spiritual vulnerability. Feel the quality of this anger, purifying, protective, energizing, and say, I honor my sacred anger at spiritual violation and channel it towards protection of authentic spiritual life and the spiritually vulnerable. I'm wearing black today. signifying the end of lies, the end of a chapter in my life, the end of naivety, the end of complacency, especially around areas of spiritual life. Let's read again. Brother Francis trembles with fury as he witnesses the monasteries above using donated funds for personal luxuries, while the poor who depend on their charity go hungry. There is a consciousness on planet Earth of I have, therefore I am. I have, therefore I am. And this consciousness, it's part of the annihilation consciousness. I have, therefore I am. It's the annihilation consciousness. It's a characteristic of the annihilation consciousness. Life consciousness, truth consciousness is I am, therefore I have. I am, therefore I have. Annihilation consciousness is I have, therefore I am. It's inverted. Okay. So yesterday we started our discussion on the characteristics of annihilation consciousness. The first characteristic we talked about yesterday was annihilation consciousness seeks to crush human dignity, destroy and crush and destroy the human spirit, human dignity. That is one of the characteristics of annihilation consciousness. The second characteristic of annihilation consciousness is I have, therefore I am. Truth consciousness is I am, therefore I have. So I'm going to go this whole week into the characteristics of annihilation consciousness so that when you witness this within yourself or within society, within your family, within community, you can recognize what you are dealing with. Okay? The first one is annihilation consciousness seeks to crush the human spirit, which it really cannot. Human dignity, it dehumanizes you. Well, it seeks to dehumanize you. And if you do not understand the characteristics of annihilation consciousness, it will take you out. Number 2, annihilation consciousness starts with, another characteristic of annihilation consciousness, I have, therefore I am. Meaning, if I don't have luxuries, If I don't have a good job, if I don't have a boo thing, bae thing, a lover thing, whatever society says I should have, I am nothing. Because the characteristic of annihilation consciousness that we talked about yesterday is what? Annihilation consciousness seeks to crush and dehumanize human beings or the spirit. Therefore, if you are dehumanized and crushed in the spirit to begin with, you are nothing. Meaning, you will do anything to have, to feel like something. Sell out your country, sell out your mother, have your sibling killed, steal, lie, smear somebody's name, whatever you must do, you will do. Because annihilation consciousness is this: seeks to crush and dehumanize the spirit. Number 2, I have, therefore I am. It's inverted. Osset in the Kemetic mythology, spiritual system of understanding, is the rejuvenator, the bringer and the rejuvenator of life. The Ankh is the symbol of purity of life. I have, therefore I am, is annihilation, is a characteristic of annihilation consciousness. So if I must sell out my mother, okay, so be it. Because I inherently am nothing. If I must have my sibling killed, okay, I am nothing anyway, so what does it matter? As long as I can get money, because I am nothing, so I must have. If I must sell out my country, not a big deal. If 1 billion people must die, 2 billion people must die, who cares? Who cares? I am nothing anyway. So let everybody else be nothing like what I am. This is annihilation consciousness. So as much as the world detests Donald Trump, truly as much as the world detests Donald Trump, I am grateful for Donald Trump. I am hella grateful for Donald Trump. What? What do you mean you're grateful for Donald Trump? He's destroying everything. No, he's showing us what the characteristics of annihilation consciousness are. How could you not thank him? How could you not thank him? How could you not thank him? How could you not honor someone who has come onto this planet to embody that level of consciousness? How could you not? How could you not? I am so thankful for Donald Trump. I've been angry for a long time. And then I started coming to this recognition that no, man, this man, he's doing something holy. Truly, he's doing something holy. He's on a holy mission. Because it is all God. It is all God. Donald Trump is exposing this consciousness. He is saying to us, look, if you want to be asleep, you can be asleep to this and grant and do whatever you got to do. But listen, I am the face of this, and I have no shame. How could you not honor a soul that is willing to stand in their authenticity in that way? How could you not honor a soul like that and be like, thank you so much for showing me this consciousness in the clearest way? How could you not honor a soul like that? Because it allows you to choose. It allows you to choose without apology. Which side you want to be on? Annihilation consciousness or truth consciousness? How could you not be grateful? But there's so much harm being created. Yes. The power of life is, of this life experience, is being able to see clearly. And from being able to see clearly, have the discernment and the courage to make the right choices. We have been asleep for so many decades on this planet. We have been asleep for so many decades. We have been asleep for so long. We have been sleepwalking. Awakening is, it's something. I am so thankful for Donald Trump. His authenticity is out of this world. I am so thankful. Thank you, Donald Trump. And you might be thinking, oh no, she's lost her mind. She's lost her mind. No. Yes, I lost my mind and I gained my sanity. And truly I lost my mind and I gained my sanity. I lost the illusion. I lost the naivety. I lost the sense of needing to fight something that is like dying anyway. That's true awakening. When you realize, oh, it's all an illusion. As the tech bros say, it's just a simulation. It's just a simulation. You realize we have spent so much of our time, so much of our life force, so much of our energy fighting things that they're not even real. Protecting illusions. How could you not be thankful? Organized religion that is harmful to humans is finished. It's finished. The challenge is that many are not going to make it. They're not going to make it through this transition, through this awakening. Why? because the trauma that has been experienced in organized religion has not been healed. And so many will try to hold on to the concepts of organized religion while going off a cliff. Let's continue reading. Brother Francis trembles with fury as he witnesses the monasteries above using donated funds for personal luxuries while the poor depend on their charity or go hungry. There's a lot of this in organized religion. There's a lot of this in governments. There's a lot of this in families who will sell out their own mother, children who will sell out their own mother. They'll sell out their own country. They don't care. I just want to be a billionaire. I just want to have a lot of money. I just want fashion, fame, and fortunes. They'll sell out their own mother. They'll sell out their own country, and they won't tell the truth. They'll be just like, well, it's just cryptocurrency. Lies. You stole this cryptocurrency money. This consciousness, annihilation consciousness, whatever I've got to do, is dying out. They have diseases of the mind, body, and spirit. They're dying out. It's just dying out. This consciousness is finished. If you are still fighting for this consciousness, you are in darkness. It's finished. The golden age is here. It's upon us. Choose life. I understand why Brother Francis is angry. But I could say to Brother Francis, honestly, Brother Francis, it's finished. It's finished. Let's let it die. Easily, silently. Without too much fight. Just let it die out. It's like a chicken with its head cut off. It makes a lot of noise before it spins around and runs around, and it just finally dies out. My grandma in South Africa, well, of course in South Africa, growing up, used to kill chickens and pluck the chicken feathers, and that's how we would have chicken. We didn't go and buy chicken. Sometimes late, like maybe when I was like 13 there, we used to go buy chickens at the grocery store. But when I was young, I was raised by my grandma the first 4 years of my life. I lived with her. And till about 10, I used to go to her house often. And every time we would have chicken, she would go and buy a live chicken. And then just okay, if you're a vegetarian, I'm sorry. But this is where I learned this analogy of chickens. So as soon as you cut the head off of a chicken, it just goes for maybe 10 minutes. And it just start running. And then it just eventually just collapses. It's like a chicken without a head. This energy is finished. And I wept today. I think I know that's why I was not on time. But I just wept, understanding that this consciousness of I have, therefore I am, is finished. And all those that are tapped into that consciousness of I have, therefore I am, are having a hard time. They're having a hell of a hard time right now. And they are nasty souls at the moment. Because they can't handle the shame of being wrong. They can't handle the shame of recognizing that they signed a deal that is collapsing. The old people, the baby boomers, okay, those that have signed up for that deal of I have, therefore I am, they're dying out anyway, so it's like whatever, they don't really care. The millennials, the Gen X's, that have signed on this deal of I have, therefore I am, they are in hell. They are in a hell they don't even understand. They are in a hell they don't even understand. Because it's collapsing. So the old story of I have, therefore I am is totally collapsing. There's nothing you can do about it. It's finished. It's finished. I'm thankful for Donald Trump. We are blaming Donald Trump and the billionaires for all of this. But if you look at astrology, it is the time for this. I don't believe in astrology. Well, whether you believe it or not, you live on this planet. It is the time for this. It is the time for such a time. It is the time we are in transition. Collapse, rebirth. Some of us are in the rebirth season. Some of us are in the collapse season. And the best advice I can give is to remain equanimous during this transition. There is going to be a transition of wealth. There is going to be a transition of power. Those that are tapped in and made choices from the I have consciousness, therefore I am, are going to find themselves in situations where they honestly my word is a law. It never comes back void. It is law. If you're a baby boomer, you're very lucky because you're on your way out anyway, so at least you'll come back. But if you're a Gen X, you're a millennial, you're a Gen Z. I don't even know how Gen Zs could be like caught up in that kind of consciousness, but I don't know. But there are some Gen Zs that are caught up in that consciousness. That consciousness is dead. It's finished. It's finished. Thank you. It is finished. It's done. Complete. Finished. So, Brother Francis trembles with fury as he witnesses the monasteries above using donated funds for personal luxuries while the poor who depend on their charity go hungry. I can understand the rage. I can understand the fury. I can get it. His spiritual anger burns like cleansing fire, not from personal offense, but from witnessing the violation of sacred trust and the exploitation of genuine spiritual need. This consciousness is dying out. These people are finished. They are dying out with this consciousness. So I understand Brother Francis's anger. But Brother Francis, you got to understand that you've got to be equanimous during this time. Equanimity is the only way forward because honestly, you can spin out of control with that anger. These people of I have, therefore I am consciousness are wild. They are wild. They are wild. They are capable of anything. You cannot get yourself angry about this. You have got to see the ignorance of this and remain equanimous. To have this awareness is the true awakening. I am, therefore I have. When you have that awareness, you don't fight the system that is collapsing. When the rage comes up, rather cry. When the rage comes up for the injustice and the cruelty, sit in meditation and remember that it is an illusion that is collapsing upon itself. It's finished. It's finished. My word is law. It never comes back void. It is finished. Therefore, I will not use my energy to even entertain this. It's finished. It's finished. Okay. His rage serves the protection of authentic spiritual service and the vulnerable who seek sanctuary. Yes, truth. There are going to be billions of souls. Billions of souls that seek spiritual service and the vulnerable who seek sanctuary. Billions of souls on this planet. Billions. The wars that are going to erupt, they're already erupting. Since I've been in Thailand, I know 5 countries, 5 nationalities that are at war. Actually, yes. I came here almost 4 years ago, February 2022. In March, it was like end of March. The Russians and the Ukrainians started moving to Thailand. I said, oh, this is interesting. The war erupted there. Okay. Next, it was the Myanmar people that just started flooding Thailand. I said, okay. I have been in contact and been around all these people. I started working with the Myanmar people and volunteering and helping with mental health, helping with children, teaching them English and helping them with their mental health. All of my English classes were just mental health work. Let's breathe. How do you express anger? Just teaching them simple mental health tools. Because I could see the trauma in these children. I was not really working, but like at the temple, and I was talking to one guy, and he was so traumatized. He wasn't fully here. He kept telling me that he was seeing ghosts every day. He says, no, when I'm driving at night, I see ghosts that cross the street. And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe you do see ghosts. But could it be trauma? Could it be trauma? I witnessed things while I was at the temple. The Russians would come in, and you could tell that the brain was not here. The spirit was checked out of the body. I saw Russian men whose arms were broken, like here. This part of the arm had cracked towards, I can't even explain it. So what they would do is break their arm consciously, break the arm and let the arm heal itself. They would just put a bandage and a plank of wood and just let the arm heal itself so that they could run away from Russia into Thailand because they didn't want to fight the war. Okay? So they would literally break their own limbs to run away from war and come to Thailand, because if they didn't have a working limb, a working arm, a working foot, a working leg, at least they didn't have to go fight in the war. Okay? I was speaking to Ukrainian women who were locked up in a basement, okay? In a basement for a month. because of the bombings. I said, oh. The stories I have heard in the past 3+ years are something that I've been sitting with myself going, how can human beings be like this towards each other? Okay? I was speaking to a guy from Ukraine who was telling me that he literally had to break his friend's leg because his friend didn't have permission to leave Ukraine. So he had permission to leave Ukraine, and he had money because he was half Italian and half Ukrainian. So he was able to leave Ukraine and go to Italy. So what he did is he flew into Ukraine, broke his friend's leg with a hammer, checked out of Ukraine, went back to Italy, and then from Italy sent money to his friend so that his friend could leave. And they were in Kopangan after that because they didn't want to fight the war. Women with children in basements, like in basements. Some were stuck in the subway, okay? The subway, they had to like shelter in the subway while they were bombing. I said, Can you imagine being in a basement for a whole month? Because there's bombings outside? Okay. Then it was the Myanmar who were like not right. Honestly, they were not right. They were just crossing the borders with their children. They were crossing the borders with their children. The Russians weren't right. The Ukrainians weren't, all of them traumatized. Then it was the Myanmars coming into Thailand, crossing the borders, just crossing the borders. You could tell, man, there was like, the trauma was on another level. On another level. All I decided to do was just be with the children. I said, like, if I could just work with the children, help the children. I said, okay. Then it was the Israelis. They started crossing the borders too. They came to Thailand now. The women were crying. There was a restaurant and a yoga center. There was actually a yoga center and a restaurant that I used to go to. And it was owned by an Israeli. And all of the Israelis used to congregate at this restaurant, at this yoga place. And the woman would just come to me and say, can you please pray for us? Let's pray. Let's pray. I said, girl, I'm going to the temple. I'm going to the Buddhist temple. Many women crying. Okay. Now is the Cambodians with the Thai people. So since I've been here, it's almost 4 years. It's the Ukrainians, the Russians, the Myanmar people, the Israelis. Now it's the Thais that are involved in their own war while they are housing people who are running away from countries that were in war. Okay? So now the Thais are now fighting with the Cambodians. So, okay. 6 in less than 4 years. 6. It's collapsing. The amount of traumatized people I have seen is like, but wow. The best to do right now, the best thing you can do for yourself right now is remain equanimous. If you must cry, cry. By all means, please avoid anger. You can feel that rage. You can feel that anger. It's a normal emotion. It's a normal emotion. Experience it, but don't act on it. Rather go out for a walk. Rather find some way to be equanimous. Because it will take you out. Okay. So there are going to be even the billions of souls that I have seen. Oh God. Sometimes when I'm in my meditations, all I just see is just more like souls that it looks like the spirit is out of the body, which it cannot be because the soul creates the body. But in South Africa, we would say, in the Zulu way, we would say, umoya awukho emzimbeni. It's like a ghost. There is, in America or the Western way or English, they'll call them zombies. They're zombies. You can tell that there's nothing in the body. It's when you look at the people's eyes, it's just like nothing. The level of spiritual service and protection for the vulnerable going forward from 2026 is going to be something we have not begun to understand. I left the US in 2022 because I knew that this was about to happen. And I just said to my husband, I need to get out of here. I really need to get out so I can go and heal, so I can be still, so that I can develop that power within me in stillness. Because what I have seen coming is beyond what human beings can comprehend at this level of diaper consciousness, 2 to 5 year old consciousness. We have not begun to understand what this change is going to bring forth. It is going to get so dark. And if you have not lived through war in the past 50 years in your country, you haven't even begun to understand. You have not begun to understand. Okay. So his nervous system recognizes this anger as sacred response rather than ego reaction. Okay. Brother Francis, on to something. He's tapped in. The fury doesn't come from personal hurt, but from his soul recognition that spiritual authority carries sacred responsibility. It really does. Because you can lose money. You can always make more money. You can you can't really lose your health, but okay, yes, you can, I guess. But you can always go to the hospital, get some medication, get patched up. Okay, you can have cancer, you can have a heart attack, go to the hospital, get patched up, get back to life again with your health. You can lose a relationship and just lose your mind and go all promiscuous, whatever. Eventually, you'll make your way back to sanity. You can lose your mind for a bit. You can check yourself into a psych ward. They can get you back to stability. The spiritual one, this one. I have been sharing with you that in the past year of my spiritual awakening and just stabilizing myself, there were moments where I believed God had abandoned me. How can God abandon itself? Cannot, because God created everything, even the air I breathe, even my lungs. So there's no such thing as God can abandon you. But when you are going through a spiritual awakening and a spiritual crisis, it is so easy to believe this. So the amounts of suicides that we are going to witness are out of this world. So many souls are going to check out. It is not only this year, the year of 9, that souls are going to check out. It is going to be continuous. The next 20 to 30 years are something that we are not prepared for. Because we are still in diaper consciousness, 2 to 5 year old consciousness. And why are you being so negative? Why being so negative? I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic. We need to come out of delusions, illusions, lies, and confusions. We need to come out of this fantasy. But how could you not thank Trump? He's forcing us to come out of delusions, illusions, lies, and confusions, because now we see them clearly. Aha. We have been living in delusions, illusions, lies, and confusions. We have been living this, thinking that the government is going to take care of you. They really don't care, honestly. Thinking that the billionaires are going to take care of, they don't care about you. They care about themselves, rightfully so. You and I need to wake up and look at this situation and say, yes. But if you've lost your mind because you've had a mental breakdown and a nervous breakdown, and you are spiritually weak and inept, it's finished. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You will give away all of that money to have peace of mind. You will pay anything to be able to sleep. This is why they take pills. This is why billionaires don't sleep. I sleep only 2 hours. I'm like, no shit. I dated a billionaire. I know exactly that hell. Okay. So the nervous system recognizes this anger as sacred response rather than ego reaction. The fury doesn't come from personal hurt, but from his soul's recognition that spiritual authority carries sacred responsibility, yes, and its violation demands righteous response. I don't understand these people who are still chasing luxuries when people are starving, when people have like basic needs not met. What is it about the luxuries that makes you feel whole as a person? I'm not shading the luxuries. Look, I don't want to not live in luxury. But like, how much is enough? When is enough enough? How deep is the sense of emptiness? How deep is it? Like how deep is it? Don't shame me. Don't shame me. I honestly will never shame anybody for the wealth that they have. But you know why they're building bunkers? Because they know that they're going to come to eat the rich. Because this is where consciousness is. This is where consciousness is. Because, as you have noticed, since 2025, it has been rock and roll. And this is just the beginning. Phase 2. We have got many more phases to go. Oh, we have many more phases to go. It's going to be rock and roll. Welcome to the shit show. So, his body channels this anger into protective energy rather than destructive force. Okay, Brother Francis. Brother Francis. Spiritual anger with cause arises when we witness the violation of sacred trust, exploitation of spiritual vulnerability, or abuse of spiritual authority. Okay? Our nervous system can distinguish between reactive anger, rooted in spiritual wounds, and righteous anger that serves protection of authentic spiritual life and the spiritually vulnerable. There are going to be a lot of people who are spiritually vulnerable. The cults. The cults that are going to emerge. Sure. We think now there's cults? No. We think people have been abused in cults up until now? No. Nah. What we've experienced up until now is just a little joke. It was just a like tap, tap. Are you ready? Now it's full on. The party is full on. Because when somebody is afraid, when somebody is losing everything, because the majority of humans live from I have, therefore I am. So annihilation consciousness is truly a blessing for us. It is our initiation. It is our activation. Annihilation consciousness is saying, no, you're living an inverted life. Nothing on the outside of you defines you. So the jobs are going, very good. The money is going, very good. The relationships are falling apart, good. Organized religion is falling apart, name it good. We are being freed. We are being freed. Freed from all the lies, delusions, illusions, lies, and confusions. The mental health crisis. The mental health crisis. Because when the story collapses, the story you've been living by collapses. The bickering, the domestic violence that is going to... What I suggest, you remain equanimous. No matter what emotions are erupting in that moment, you just remain equanimous. Come back to the breath. I just need to breathe through this. I just need to breathe through this. I just need to breathe. This is all you got to say to yourself. I just need to breathe through this. Okay? Our nervous system can distinguish between reactive anger, rooted in spiritual wounds, and righteous anger that serves protection of authentic spiritual life and the spiritually vulnerable. That's if your nervous system is regulated. If it's not regulated, you are going to join a cult that says kill your sibling, and you say, yes, I'm willing to do it. Sell out your country. Willing to do it. I'm Winnie Mandela. You will do anything. You will do anything. You will get presidents involved who have no business getting involved in a lie, in a scam. And now they find that their population has no medication. And now you're the one who orchestrated all of these things with some billionaires. And now you center of this with billionaires. But so, okay, you're rich, you're famous, and you've got fashion. At what cost? How many people's lives? How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? I sleep really well. So here's the embodiment practice. Place your hands in prayer position and think of a spiritual injustice that genuinely violates sacred trust or exploits spiritual vulnerability. Feel the quality of this anger. We are all going to be experiencing insane amounts of anger. Oh, anger is the dominant emotion for humanity for the next 15 years. But like, some of us are going to experience sacred rage because we understand inherently from a spiritual perspective that this is not right, and sacred rage is what is needed for us to be able to take action. Some of us are going to collapse into depression because we're not going to understand what to do with this anger. Some of us are going to punch each other out, and wars will continue. Some of us are just going to cry And some of us are going to remain equanimous and just sit in our rage, in our anger, in our fear, in our sadness, and regulate our nervous system through this collapse. I am on the rebirth side, and yet I still feel the rage. I still feel the anger, the sadness. I still have moments of intense tears. There was. Okay. Feel the quality of this anger, purifying, protective, energizing. And say to yourself, I honor my sacred anger at spiritual violation and channel it towards protection of authentic spiritual life and the spiritually vulnerable. You cannot protect life when you are functioning from the consciousness of annihilation. It is a fallacy. It's a lie. It's a lie. You are lying to yourself. You are lying to everybody who is around you. There is no way you live in annihilation consciousness. It's like Donald Trump saying, no, I'm protecting the Somalians. What the fuck? It's a lie. This is why I really, I don't know. I mean, maybe saying respect Donald Trump is pretty out there, but I think I kind of respect that. He's authentic. I hate people. Okay, great. At least we know where you stand. Thank you for letting us know. How can you not respect that? Instead of the liars that I'm like, that are in the annihilation consciousness, selling out their own countries, yet they pretend that they are not. It's better to just pick a side. Pick a side and stick to the side and say, yes, I am for war. I hate humanity. I am this, and I am going to speak my truths that I am this, so that people can know that I am this, and I'm not going to keep pretending and lying. Let's pick a side. It's time to pick a side. What are you, for life or for death? Stick to it and tell the truth. Yes, I am for death. I did this. I sold out my own country. I got presidents involved, and now, there's a lot of people that are in this situation. I did it. At least then you can sleep at night. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, Winnie Mandela. Tell the truth. That's what Archbishop Desmond Tutu said. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. But you see, in South Africa, if you start telling the truth, you are considered an informant. They kill you. They kill you. So, such a time as this, we have chosen to come to planet Earth. Thank you, Donald Trump, for showing us what annihilation consciousness looks like, because a lot of us have been talking about annihilation consciousness, and we have been talking about this energy. I mean, the Christian people call it the devil. Let's just call it annihilation consciousness. But annihilation consciousness truly has no power over you. I am a South African. They tested it out on us. And here I am, emotionally stable. Yes, sometimes I have my times of rage and anger and tears. But, I am here with good news. Hope in your body temple. Regulate your nervous system. It's all possible. Don't fall for the lies. Don't fall for the lies. Sovereignty is the way forward, so that you don't get yourself involved with this annihilation consciousness. Choose life. Choose the ankh of life. Choose life. Choose life. This is your soul. In the end, you must be able to take that breath and look at yourself and say, yeah, this is how I lived. This is who I am. This is what I did. Choose life. Choose life. Don't get yourself involved in rage baits. Not worth it. Choose life. So, today, this is it. Yeah, I don't have a meditation today. I don't actually want to meditate today. Tomorrow, I will be back early. Tomorrow, we're going to have anger around relationships. Yeah, anger around relationships. So choose life. Choose yourself. And choose life. I love you long time. I love you long time. I love you long time. Choose life. Tell the truth. Inner reconciliation. Yes?